Hi guys, it's Patricia from Yarny Cat Crochet. I'm working on my last snowball for Oliver. I was gonna make him 10 snowballs so he'd have enough to play with his mother and father snowball fight. And let me count this: 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Because he likes to throw things, and they don't need him to throw anything really hard because of televisions and things like that. So I thought, well, since he likes to toss things, I'd make him some crocheted snowballs. So I found a pattern, and I told you guys on the previous video, and I linked that video. So if you go back to my previous video, you can find the pattern for them. But I'm using 2 4s to make a 5, although, I'm sorry, one is thinner than the other. But the two of them together is really soft, and it makes a pretty sturdy fabric, so they could hold up under tons of throwing, and they can be washed and then laid out, I don't know, in a fan to air dry or something. And technically you could make them out of cotton, which would make them easier to wash and dry, but I think these would dry fairly well. And I'm just going to finish this snowball while I'm talking to you. I am, the allergies seems like it turned into bronchitis. I can't tell for sure. I know it isn't COVID, although I cannot taste anything unless it's salt or bitter or something like that. And I can't smell anything. But I've tested a couple of times, and the COVID test has come back negative. Watch, it'll strike me for saying that word. Hopefully not. But I don't have it, so that's good. Say hi to Kage. And on top of all that, I guess one time when he got out or something, Kage got fleas, so I had to go get flea medicine. Well, I didn't get flea medicine, I got flea shampoo, but it's natural, so I'll have to repeatedly use it on him, but at least it won't dose him with tons of chemicals, because I'm so afraid of him getting cancer that I don't like to use a lot of chemicals around the animals. But anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm using the tail as my stitch marker. So I'm pulling it each time I start a new row to the front and using it as my stitch marker so that I know where I'm at. And then I just, when I get, to where I don't need it anymore, I just tuck it in. So I don't have to use a stitch marker, which I wouldn't mind using a stitch marker. I just feel like it's easier, and it's not my idea. I learned that from Bag O' Day Crochet. Was not my idea at all, but it's a very good, useful thing. Although making 10 snowballs, it does use up some of your yarn, a couple inches every time you make a snowball, but I don't know, it was worth it to me. Please excuse me. But anyway, yeah, I've been fighting it, and I had to get out and mail some things today and get some fleece stuff, so I finally left the house, which in the past couple of days I couldn't have left the house. I was like battling a fever on and off, and it's terrible business. And I've had my flu shot, so I know it's not the flu, although it could be a mild form. But I mean, my doctor checked me out and she said it was allergies. It's just really bad. I'm taking my allergy medicine. So I just don't know. It feels like when I cough, it feels like bronchitis. Oh, I went to the eye surgeon, and he said the surgery wasn't going to be very long, but they have to do one eye at a time. So I have to do it on December 1st and the 8th of December. So they do the left eye first because it's the worst, and then they do the right eye, and they have to get the scar, and they have to remake a path to the back of my eyes so that I can see, because I can do things up close to my face, well, fairly close, because if you get real close, then it all turns blurry again. But I can't see or read anything on the TV, or I wouldn't be able to drive or whatever. And that's just for the blurriness and the scar. The diabetic retinopathy, I just have to keep my A1C low and see how it works. And if that doesn't help, then they may have to do some more surgery. I hope not, because I don't want it. But I guess anything's better than going blind. So right now I feel like that's where it's heading, because everything's just so blurry. I've been keeping eye drops in my eyes and everything, so doing everything I can. But isn't that cute? It's just turning out so cute. And don't worry, that hole gets smaller. It'll be fixed. But I don't do the magic circle because I just don't like it. And I can fix the hole where I don't have to worry about it. And then I'll stuff it. So there's nothing really going on. I haven't been doing much because I haven't been feeling good, but I have been making these snowballs. And let me see where I'm at real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I have to one more row of regular stitches, because so you grow the snowball to the size it's supposed to be, and then you do 4 rows of just single crochets, so that makes like the sides of your snowball, and then you start decreasing. And I've got it all down pat now. I can make these in my sleep. But this is the last one, and then I'll probably make him a snowball pouch, maybe a backpack, a drawstring one to put them in. I don't know. I may buy one from the Dollar Tree, or I may make one. It just depends on how I'm feeling. And then I've got this hooded scarf that I started, and I have to finish my mom's blanket for her Christmas present. I was so behind on Christmas things. I just don't know if I'm going to catch up, with the surgeries and everything. It's just, I may have to tell people Merry Christmas. I'm so glad that you're in my life. That is all. But, I mean, everybody would understand. Oh. I'm the one that makes sure everybody gets something for Christmas. It's not always something really expensive, but something homemade and from the heart, or some snacks like you can make up. Like one year I made my dad, because he's diabetic like me, I made him a batch of cocoa. I used Hershey's Special Dark cocoa powder. Now, somewhere online there is a sugar-free version. If you just type it in, you can get like 1 billion. So, but I've used it so much that I can't remember even the guy that I saw it off of. And I don't have exact measurements, so I wouldn't be stealing his recipe or anything. But what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take powdered milk, but I use a hi, baby. Hi, you're saying hi to everybody? You say hi. Oh, so sweet. I'm sorry. No, it's there you go. It got dark because he was up here. But you're supposed to use powdered milk, but I like to use non-dairy coffee creamer like Coffee Mate because it mixes better. Um, and you can also use milk to make it more milky, but I just use the coffee creamer and the Hershey's Special Dark cocoa powder, non-sweet. And I use whatever sweetener that you want to use. I like erythritol. It sounds like a chemical, but it's actually a natural sweetener. Or you could use monk fruit sweetener. I like that too. Or stevia. Stevia is a little bitter to me. But anyway, and then a dash of salt. Believe you me, if you tasted the cocoa mix that you can get that's not sugar free, you can taste the salt in it. There's a little salt, it helps balance it all out. So a dash of salt. But anyway, those are all the dry ingredients, and you mix it really good. And you can add dehydrated marshmallows if you don't mind a little bit of sugar in it, or you could just throw marshmallows on the top, or just package it with a bag of marshmallows so you could have some extra marshmallows. Now, they have sugar-free marshmallows you can buy, but they're really expensive. You can make some. There's all kinds of recipes on the thing. Also, if you can find a snowman jar, you can layer this stuff in the jar, make you like a sand art inside of the snowman, and then you put the cap on, and then you just print a card saying how many spoonsful to make, so it's like a little recipe card to go around his neck or something. Crochet him a scarf, It's the stuff is not very expensive to buy, and if you go to the dollar store, you can find those snowmans or any kind of jar, mason jars or whatever, so you can get that really cheap, and you can make a really cute handmade gift. And like my daddy, he doesn't hardly watch things, and he just pretty much eats what he wants. And this way, he could have cocoa without having to worry about what it was going to do to his blood sugar. So I didn't put the marshmallows in for him, but you could. So anyway, just little ideas like that. Make up brownie mixes and put them in a container, or just think cookie mixes, and there's all kinds of recipes out there for that. Or you could do the sugar-free version if somebody's a diabetic. You can make spiced nuts, candied ones, and you can do that sugar-free or regular. There's just a bunch of things you could do where you don't have to pay a lot of money to give somebody a gift, which is what I'll probably be utilizing this year. I got Oliver covered, and my mom, getting her the blanket, and my in-laws are a little bit trickier. um, and I don't have anything planned for them just yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. I do have shawls already made up, so I could pick a nice one and give it to my sister-in-law. Just something to say, and I can make my father-in-law a hat. There's things I still have time to do. Hats don't take me very long at all. I could sit there and watch one program on television and have a hat done. I'm almost to the point where I gotta stuff it. Let's see. So right there. Okay, 1, 2. And this one gets sewed together. Okay, is this where I stuff it? Oh yeah, this is where I stuff some of it, I think. Or maybe I gotta do one more. Gotta get it together here. Okay, yeah, one more row. Okay, so this is how it goes. You get to where you have to single crochet one, then decrease single crochet two together. And when you're finished with that row, you stuff it, because that gives you still enough space to do that without it being too tight. Now, the woman whose pattern I told you on my previous video, you can go see her channel. She does decreases, what she calls a invisible decrease. But to me, it felt weird, so I'm doing it double or single crochet two together. Now that's American single crochet. I don't know what that would be called in UK terms. So you guys will have to consult somebody that knows something more about that than me. But it looks just the same to me. So it's easier for me just to single crochet two together. And I'm almost done. And I'm going to use this pattern. I'm going to make one this size, and then I'm going to make one a little bigger. Like when I'm growing the bottom, I'm going to do like an extra row or two extra rows, and then it'll make a bigger base for it. So yeah, I will be making a snowman. Hopefully I'll get that done and you guys can see it. Okay, two together on this one. Okay, and where am I? Okay, that's it. Okay, so this is where you stuff it. It works up really fast. Like, I already had up to the point where I started to do the sides before I started filming. But, you see how quick it is. And then I got this batting. Sorry. The camera's moving with me. I got this batting a long time ago. It's been in my totes. So I'm at the stage of my totes where I bought some extra, they're not really totes. They're like a tote bag, but it has a clear front. And I got enough to put all of my, to put all of my yarn that's in the cubicles into the totes so that I can move that, make room for the Christmas tree, because there's just no room. My house is a square doll house, pretty much. I mean, it's the tiniest house you ever saw. But anyway, and once I get that in the totes, tote bags or whatever you want to call them, I can stack those along the wall in my room. And see, I just pull little bits out at a time. I pull a couple of bits so it's fluffy and I stuff it in. So it's about the firmness that I want. But anyway, and I'll have my yarn out of the way for Christmas, and then hopefully I will get some shelves. I really want shelves with doors. I want I'd like a china cabinet or something of that nature with doors, so I could see my yarn, but it protects it from dust and pet hair and stuff like that. Now you got to kind of move the stuffing around to keep your round shape and to be firm enough, to grab and throw it. So you don't want it squashing like I don't know what it would be like, but you don't want it squashing and misshape it. You want it to be round like a snowball. But anyway, I stuff it enough, and it needs more, to where I can still crochet up the top without it you know, being in the way while I try to close up the top. You don't want to overfill it because you don't want it too hard, because they're going to be throwing these, and that's what the lady said in the video. They're going to be throwing these at each other, and you don't want them to feel like an ice ball, just a snowball, a soft one. Plus, I want his little hands to be able to hold it. And you could use this to make, besides the snowman, you could make Christmas ornaments. I mean, it's round. You know, you could use different colors and make, do color work and make an ornament or anything. I also thought about making flat figures like a gingerbread, and then make two of those, two gingerbread men's, and then on one of them start working up like you were going to make a basket or something, but it's gingerbread shape, if you can imagine that. Like, it will have walls, and then sew the top, stuff it a little bit, and sew the top one on, and it'll look like a gingerbread cookie, if you can imagine that, if I'm saying it right. But so far I've got it, wait a minute, shape it. You can mold it the best. But anyway, so far I got it stuffed the way I want it. So now I'm going to do the next. So I just did every other one single crochet two together, every other one. Now I'm going to, this is the last basic row is double crochet two together every single one, and that leaves you with about 6 stitches. And then you weave in with the needle to, you know, to make a cinch and cinch it shut, and then you just sew. I just sew a couple of times around the hole, and you know, get it really good and sewed shut. But what I would do if I was making a snowman, I'd stop at the point where I am, where I just stuff the head, and then I would sew it to the, I'd make the bottom one solid. Oh, sorry, I'm going to have to undo this because it's just too loose right here. I'd make the bottom one solid, I'd sew it shut, I'd fill it up, sew it shut, and I would take the head and I would stop right here, and I would, I would make sure it was round, and then I would sew it from this base onto the snowman, and then I'd make the scarf to hide the neck. But it would probably be good. You probably wouldn't see the stitches on the neck. I've seen a lot of people do stuffies, and I've seen them sew it, and you can't see the stitches. I'm not an amigurumi person, but I've seen enough of their videos. I think that I could do it. So I learned by watching. And I think I pulled that stitch too tight. It's probably because I'm nervous, because y'all are watching me. I'll blame it on you. But anyway, you don't want to do it too tight, because then it makes an open hole. And you don't want that on your snowball. You don't want the stuffing to come out. Plus, you know what you also could do? If you gave yourself a long enough tail when you were sewing it up, you can go around those places where a little bit more open, and you could weave in and close that up. I mean, they're just snowballs, for goodness sakes. I'd probably use a fluffier yarn if I was going to make dolls or something, because that way it would, you know, close any little holes. The fluffy would. But anyway, so yeah, I'm a little better today than I have been. It's been rough. That's why I haven't been on, because Nobody wants to sit there and listen to somebody talk like that. But anyway, so I've done it, and I'm going to give myself enough string. Oh, and I don't know where the... Oh, there it is. I've lost my scissors, and my family are very disturbed because I'm not really good with knives. And I have this X-Acto knife. It's a safety one because it goes back in, you know. But I always cut myself, so my family's not real happy that I have an X-Acto knife. They're like, "Where'd you get that?" They tend to hide the knives on me. I mean, I'm not kidding. In the kitchen, I will always burn myself. And if I'm cutting vegetables, I will always cut myself. But anyway, they like to hide things on me. So yeah, so I just pull the string out, and I gotta find the needles, but I'll weave that around in there until I have, I'll do it off camera because it's kind of boring, but see, I made a bunch of these. I have 10 snowballs. I might just put them all together and then take a picture for you guys and just put it up on my community tab, or maybe put it on this video. If you see it, then I did it. If you don't, then I didn't. But I will take a picture and show you guys the finished snowballs. But yeah, I need it. So it's been about 30 minutes. I'll let you go, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.